Hi everyone, welcome to my training videos. My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make an invoice using QuickBooks. Alright, my name is Andrew, and I just have a couple of things about me. I've been doing QuickBooks for about 10 years. I'm also a certified pro advisor. I'm also a certified bookkeeper, and I have a bunch of other computer-based certifications. Okay, so let's go right into this here. Now, I've already started up QuickBooks here. I'm using the Premier Edition 2008. You can use any editions, 2006, 7, or 8, any one of the versions, Pro, Premier, or even Enterprise Edition. Okay, I'm going to be using a sample company to go through this. Right now, I've already opened a previous sample company, but what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use this same one. If you haven't opened a company yet, you can use your sample companies in there. So I'm going to go to open a sample file, and I'll say sample product base business. Okay, so once this loads up here, the information box comes up. It's very important here. It says that because it's a practice file, we're going to set the date to December 2011. December 15, 2011. So very important, because when we create those invoices, that date, we're going to see that date back again. So let's click OK. After that, you get the QuickBooks home screen here. I don't need this. Is the basic navigations of the program. I don't need this for now. I'm just going to close this out. I'm going to go into my customer center. This is where you're going to be receiving all of your payments, your accounts receivable, basically. So first thing I'm going to have to do, you notice that this is a sample company. This is a construction company. It doesn't matter whether you're using a construction company or whether you're using a doctor's office, lawyer's offices, photographers, construction, of course, construction companies, medical offices, anything. Doesn't matter the type of the business you're using QuickBooks with, the steps will be the same. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to create a new customer. And I'll say new customer. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and type in the customer name. Now this field here is the name. Whatever name you type in here is the one that's going to appear on the list. Not necessarily has to be the customer name. Sometimes people use numbers if you have customer that repeats a lot. You can use any kind of customer based protocol on this. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and use a very simple generic name in here. So I'm going to create a couple of ones here. Maybe I can put in let's say, give me any name here, Tom Peterson. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead now. Company's name, if he has one, I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to go ahead and put in his name here. Tom Peterson. Notice it put it here. I'm going to press enter to put in his address. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my address in here, 255 West 36th Street. And I'm on the 8th floor. I'm in New York. Make this short. And I'm going to put in my zip code. And I'll say OK. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an invoice for Tom Peterson. So he's highlighted. I'm going to go to new transaction. I'll say invoices. And I'll go down here. Here we have Tom Peterson invoice. Notice the moment I click in the bill toolbox, it automatically comes up. Items. Items are basic things that we're going to be buying and selling. So I'm going to click on this drop down arrow. Previous videos, I'm going to show you guys how to create item lists and go through the types here. But I'm basically going to be doing some repairs for this person. Now, depending on what you do, you might have, if you're a doctor's office, if you're a lawyer's office, your items might be different than this here. So I'm going to say repairs, repair work. I'm just going to go in there and say, let's say fix floors. This is a construction company. I'm going to say charge by hour. Quantity, I'll say 2, so they know it's 2 and it's 35. That's fine. Notice it's non-taxable. Even though it has a sales tax here, it does not generate a sales tax. Now you can go ahead now and print your invoice and send it over, or you can even go ahead and email your invoice. So I'm just going to save and close this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and receive that payment for the invoice. Now, one thing I did forget to do this is a good opportunity for me to show you how to go back and check anytime you make an error on your invoices. Notice when I have this highlighted here, I have the invoice here. I'm just going to double click on this invoice. I actually forgot to do one thing here. This is the terms, very important. Terms is when the invoice is going to be due. I'm going to click this drop down arrow and I'll say net 30. Now what this means is that when he gets this invoice, he knows it's due in 30 days from today's date. Remember, today's date is December 15th, 2011. This is the date the sample company is using. So 30 days from then is January 1st. They also had some other ones due on receipt. The moment he receives it, he has to pay or 10% 10 net 30. Actually 1% 10 net 30 means that if he pays within 10 days, you give him a 1% discount. If not, he still has 30 days to pay. Alright, so net 30 is fine. Save and close that. Yes, I do want to change that. It's telling me you've changed the term. You'd like this to appear next time. I'll say yes. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is send the invoice out to him. Remember, print it or email it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and receive that payment. So I'm going to say new transaction, and I'll say receive payments. And here we go. It was $70. And let's see, he paid with a check. Whatever number his check was, I'll just put it in here. You should do this. Good record keeping. Maybe if you ever calls up, you can tell him, you paid this invoice with checks numbers 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to save and close this. Now, one quick thing. QuickBooks says, where does the money go? Now, what this means is that the money is basically going into an account called undeposited funds, which means that after you receive the payment, you have to go ahead and make that deposit. Now, you probably don't want to do a deposit right away. When you can actually do a real deposit, when you go to the bank and fill out those deposit slips, that's when you want to make the deposit in QuickBooks. So I'll say save and close. Invoice payment. So remember that I told you they've got to make that deposit. You probably want to do this when you're doing a real deposit though. So make this easy. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to say make deposit. And here we go. I have a couple of things in here. I have Tom Peterson, and I was training another person. There's a Juan Peterson there. So I want to deposit Tom Peterson's check, and maybe I want to deposit everyone else's. Notice that the deposit here is a bigger amount. So this has to match the deposit receipt because this goes into our check-in registers, and you want to make sure it matches your real bank statement because your bank statement is going to have 2580, and you want to make sure the register in QuickBooks also has 2580. And I'm going to say okay. And it's saying, well, we're going to put it into our checking account, and it's basically going to go in there. I'm going to say save and close it. Okay, the full transaction is done. I made the invoice, I received the money, and I put it into the bank account. To verify if the money is in the bank account in QuickBooks, just a quick tip here. I'm going to go to list, chart of accounts. Here I have my checking account, and I'm going to have to look for that payment, the deposit that I put in there. You notice it's right here, 25. You notice it says split on it. When I double click, it says DEP. I'm just going to put the mouse here and double click, and you're going to see the Tom Peterson's payment is in there. Close that out. All right, hope you find this video very informative. Now you know how to create an invoice in QuickBooks, receive your money, and put it into your bank account there. All right, just on my services, if you're interested in QuickBooks training in New York City, I do offer seminars on Sundays, and I do one-on-one consulting or on-site consulting for any companies out there. And I also provide auto training in Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. Give me a call, 347-423-4567 in New York City. Thank you, and have a good day.